Good evening. Wednesday, July the 2nd, and we still haven't signed the memo. But look, we roll, we move, we hope. Cole, long time no see. How you doing, big man?
I'm not bad at all, thank you. How are you?
I'm always good, man. I got 2 days till the best day of the week, so the countdown is on. Yeah, but how you doing with your little side dreads there?
Yeah, you know, it is like we were discussing the other day. I'm going bald on top, but I'm looking at all these different styles I can use, you know, to enhance it. So today I've gone with the little side move, you know. Welcome back, Colin. Been a while. I've seen you in the chat, but it's nice to have you back on stage, you know. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the new season. Got a lot of news to talk about today. We've been talking a lot about news, but people like transfer gossip, don't they? People like to gossip.
We've realised, yeah,
about things, you know. And I'll speculate that's a glass of milk, right?
Yeah, damn. yeah. I think it's about a pint. I think, yeah.
I always get the the green top when I used to drink milk. It was always
green. What's that?
Green. It's semi-skimmed. Yeah. The red one was no fat, and I think the blue one was full of full fat. I couldn't take the full fat. Couldn't take the no fat. Semi-skimmed all the way when I used to.
I want normal cow's milk. They don't have to skim nothing, man. I'm skinny enough as it is. I want as much fat as I can get, boy. So no skim, semi-skim, half skimmed, oat milk, goat milk, peanut milk. Not interested. If it ain't coming from a cow, I ain't drinking it. Yeah. Look, let's say a couple of howdies. I am Titanium. Not the first United to play to be devolved. Oh shit! Maybe I should have done that one. But yeah, we get your drift. Evening, dropping a like. But I'm done with transfer ball crap. Look, there's nothing else we can do, Andrew. What do you want us to do? Make up news? If you want us to make up, yeah, you know, we can get Solo on with a little dance video. We can all chat beside him, and Colm's got a little boxing thing there. He can do his beats on as well. You know what I mean? Patrick.
Andrew, can I just say, Andrew's very hard to please. We aim to please Andrew. Whenever Andrew gives us credit, we're like, wow, we've done such a good job here. But it's just very rare these days that we please Andrew. So
it's transfers. It's nothing. I don't think it's anything personal, to be fair. Patrick, yes, we will take you through the traffic, my friend. We will take you through the traffic. King Dino, I really hope the exit is close. Hashtag no dickheads. Oh, is this Con with a fresh trim? He's been watching you, mate. He's been watching you. Yeah. Stephanie. I didn't get a notification, but I know it's 9 p.m. That's what I like. TMUA time. That's lovely. How you doing, Steph? Hope you're doing well. Dave P. Howdy all. Guys, there's a few of you on the X watching. If you want to give us a little like or a little comment, our Twitterati will get back to you. I'm sure. Rebel MC in the house. Right. Obviously, news is stagnant. We're all waiting for one thing and one thing only. But the person who we probably want to leave the most, I suppose there's four of them, but yeah, I suppose he's the one deemed to be the one that we want to bugger off the most. Sancho. Sounds like he's close to agreeing a deal with Juve. Obviously, there will be a pay cut, and I'm going to assume there will be some sort of payoff. But the fact that he's not going to sit down and waste another year, we have to be loaning him out. I'm glad this move is happening. It hasn't gone quiet. Obviously, he was linked with Napoli. He was linked with Fenerbahce as well, although I never really saw that happening. Juve, Champions League, good team. Obviously, they're in the. Have they been knocked out the World Club?
Yeah.
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. Okay, well they're out of that now, so they're on their way home. If they're not at home already, so I think it'll be a good move for him if they can get it over the line. Nobody wants to see him back here, July the 7th. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to see him strolling in with his headphones and his and whatever else he's going to be bopping in there with. So, what are your feelings on this one, Yabba?
Okay, I'll just read out what the news I know. It says new contracts expected in the coming hours between Juve and Man United's Jadon Sancho. Juve have shown that they would be willing to put on the table one of their players in a swap deal who are not currently central to their project. And these include Vlahovic, Douglas Luiz, and Ware. That's Christopher Ware, the son of George. Sancho is now willing to reduce his wage demands to join Juventus. That's from Eurosport and El Bianco Neri. So, yeah, you're right, Mr. B. It looks like things are moving in that direction. Do you want to say this, though? I remember when Patrice Evra rolled up at Juve, he said it's like day and night, the difference, because they train you harder than they do at Man United. It's disciplined. They weigh you. You get weighed every couple of days to see if you've been eating any burgers or hot dogs or things like that. Very disciplined as well. And he said it's more like a camp or something, like some sort of army camp. So of all the players they should be signing, I don't think Sancho fits the bill if he wants to be regimented and go through that sort of process. But maybe it'd be good for him. Sometimes, when naughty kids who are spoiled and don't behave, these like shows he's have like Ricky Lake and Jerry. They used to bring on these drill sergeants and send them to these sort of military schools and get them in line, and they'd be crying and fighting against it, but it would turn out pretty good for them, So any naughty kids out there used to go to these sort of schools and get sort of shaped up and taught how to be men. And I think this is exactly the move for Sancho. He might not know it yet. He might not realize it yet. He might think, I'll go there. It's a big club. Not realizing that they are regimented and they don't play. So there'd be drill sergeants on his ass every day. And let's see how long that lasts. But don't say that. I shouldn't be revealing this in case Juve are watching. Take him, please. He's yours. Hit it, Colin.
Yeah. I mean, Sancho's the hardest worker I've ever seen in my life. He's always there. Just in case Juve are watching. But no, yeah. I mean, yeah. I hope he takes it. Obviously, like Yabba's said there, he's willing to take a pay cut. Fantastic. From people such as Mick Ruby and Alfredo Pulli, MUFC Realist, and all those people on the stratosphere of X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it nowadays. Apparently, a full agreement between Sancho and Juve is close. It's literally just getting the transfer fee, which I think is going to be around 25 million. So hopefully we get this done within the next 24 hours. Is then Juve's
24?
I hope he's gone within the next 24. Yeah, I mean, no, I want him to stay. Please don't buy him, Juve, please.
I don't see how we get it done in 24. I would take a week. I have no problem this time next Wednesday him being gone. As long as he's going, and we definitely then there's no right. I just don't want to see him back. I just don't want to see him back at training. That's all.
I don't think we can wait a week. I really don't, because we're not going to buy anybody until we've got players out. So until he's gone, we're not buying anybody. So
yeah, but do you think we're going to have money to spend? What do we have to spend to break even? I mean, are we going to spend the money that we get regardless? I mean, it's probably only going to be, they're saying 20 mil. We take 20 million. You're taking 20 million and not swapping anybody, right?
Yeah, I'm not taking any of them that they've offered at all.
Mr. B, can we talk about Sancho? I mean, do you think this is a good move for him? He's also been suggested he can go Chelsea. They rejected him. He's looking at the Dortmund. None of the German clubs have gone in for him. If you're Sancho, what do you think this is a good move? The old lady, Turin, going to Turin, Juve, one of the biggest clubs in Italy. Do you think that will work out for him?
Yeah, I do. The league is slower. All right, the defenders are probably better than they are in Spain, and it's more tactically, but they've got a new coach in, and maybe the coach sees something in Sancho that Sancho doesn't have, but who cares? You know, to be fair, I think he'll do well. I mean, look, Sancho's a good player, but he doesn't have that burst of pace. He will go past the man twice, 3 times sometimes. You know, but United don't need that. You know, Chelsea obviously didn't need that because they're looking at Gittins. But Sancho on his day is a good player. You saw what he did at Dortmund, but was he hungrier at Dortmund? Was he doing it just to get the move? You know, does he have that self-motivation? I would like to think he's going to go out there and show, you know, the United fans that, yeah, he's not trash, to show the Chelsea fans that he's not trash. But we've seen him long enough and we've watched him long enough to know that he's probably going to play for 3 months, and then settle down into that Jadon Sancho mode again. But as long as he's gone and we can get the money, then it's great, you know. Big up Juve. They're going to spend some of their World Club Cup money on him. The sooner he goes, the better.
Okay, like I said, don't believe you're watching from Juve. Don't believe this. We're just pulling your leg a little bit. He's a great player, very professional, as Colin was saying, and we would love to keep him, but the lure of going to Juve is just too much for Manchester United.
King Dino, he's saying, I bet we have to pay Sancho 15 million to get rid. How much do you think we'll have to be paying him? I thought it would have been about 7. I didn't think it would have been as much as the 15.
I think it might be 5.
The wages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's about 5 mil. Because originally it was when he got sent back from Chelsea. Obviously, they paid us for it 5 million, and I think when that happened, there were talk about like, if he goes, we have to subsidise his wages. It equals what they've given us. So why don't we just do that anyway?
Okay.
It makes sense. Get him off. Get him gone. Sorry,
Yeah.
have a go.
So let's remember this. We didn't buy Sancho under the current Ineos. This is way pre-Ineos, wasn't it? And everybody was sure Sancho was going to be the next big thing. When we did sign him, he was playing for England as well. I remember he played in Euros for England. But since coming to Man United, everything's gone downhill. And I imagine once he does leave, he will be sort of putting out indirect tweets or maybe direct tweets to say, United are a shithouse club and they didn't treat me fairly and all this kind of thing. That's what I can see coming out from Sancho. I'm going to follow him on Twitter or X, whatever, and just be ready for any kind of negative comments when he says, what did he say? He's probably going to say something like freedom, like he's Kunta Kinte, you know, leaving the plantation at Carrington or something. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. But for me, I think to myself, you're a young man, you're a Londoner, you should be playing in the Premier League, but instead, because of your ways, which you haven't grown up from, ever since Pep called you out, and for you know wanted too much too soon, look where it's got you. You know, look what it's done for you in the last few years. So he just needs complete attitude adjustment. I'm not talking about the finishing move from John Cena. I mean just a proper attitude adjustment where he can reflect and say, I'm 25, wherever old I am now, come on, get my act together. And I think Juve is the perfect club for him if he's got his mind right and if he wants to turn this around and become a proper professional player, because you've got no choice there. You have to conform. And as like I said, mentioned earlier about Patrice Evra going there and saying it was really regimented. We've heard comments from Gary Neville. I saw it in the chat earlier, Gary Neville and the guys, because they used to be our main rivals in the late 90s. Remember Turin when we beat them going to win our 99 Champions League final? But they were like a machine, you know, world machine. But they've had a lot of controversy, that club. Obviously, you remember they got relegated with Trezeguet and Del Piero for sort of corruption and all kinds of things. So, yeah, they're not at their best at the moment. So if they want to please their fans, who might be a bit naive, getting someone like Sancho in, who's 25, great age for a footballer, might appease the fans, and they might feel they're getting a good deal as well for 25 mil, because really and truly he could play a great season next year and then his value would go up completely. It's just that he's let himself down and thing. But overall, I just want to say this, because he's played for Man United, Didn't work out for him. You know, Mr. B says talent player, definitely a talented player, but I do wish him well. I hope he can turn his life around and make that change, and then become the footballer that he wants to be.
Okay. Well, I'm not even sure he wants to be a footballer, but look, we'll move on. What do we want to go with next? The next lever? Yeah, look, we'll make it brief. Every day or every other day, we're Rashford bashing. He's been linked with Bayern Munich. They are in the market for a left-sided player, left winger, we should say. They were interested in Liverpool. Liverpool have said no, he's not going. So Barca and Juve were interested in him. Obviously, if they're both interested in him, I think maybe his agent's been putting the feeders out. But Liverpool have said no, point blank, he's not going anywhere. Nico Williams, obviously, both clubs are interested in a bit. Obviously, Nico Williams is looking for what's the word I'm looking for? He wants concrete evidence that Barca are actually going to be able to sign him. He doesn't want to be left like, what's the two players that they couldn't sign? They couldn't register. He wants concrete in writing that they will be able to sign him. So that's the hold up there, which means that Rashford is now available. He wanted to play Champions League. He wanted to play for a team that wanted to win things. Harry Kane's over there. Who else is over there? There's another one. Is Dyer still over there? Has he gone?
I think Dyer's gone now.
Eze's over there. Elise's over there. So, you know, he doesn't have to take too long to learn. Look, if Harry Kane can learn German, I'm sure it's not going to take too long for Rashford to learn German, if that's what he wanted to do. What are your thoughts on it? And obviously, company seen him play in the Prem. What are your thoughts on Sancho moving? Rashford and the opportunity of him going to Bayern. And do we think it could be a loan? Or do you think they would actually stump up some money and take him off our hands for good?
That's the question, isn't it? Is it going to be a loan or is it money? I know United are wanting a permanent transfer out. Obviously, that's everywhere in the news. Bayern Munich need a new winger because obviously Sané's gone, and as you say, Williams is of interest, but he seems to be set on Barcelona. So why not go for Sancho? I've done a Mr. B there. Why not go for Rashford? I think Rashford would absolutely destroy it in the Bundesliga. I really do. Harry Kane's there, like you said. They've got a good working relationship from the England setup. Eric Dyer looked like an absolute monster out there as well. So, if he can do it, I'm sure Rashford can. And, I'm pretty sure we'll be sat here in a couple of months if this deal happens. I kind of hope it does for him. I think he needs to go and restart his career, get away from the English press as well and away from us, because we are very critical, but that's because we demand like 100% all the time, and we haven't felt like we're getting that. But yeah, I hope he does well. I hope he does well. If he goes, I reckon he'd probably end up scoring 25 goals in his first season, because you'll find that league not as competitive, I don't think. That's not me disrespecting the Bundesliga, but it's just not as fast-paced and as competitive as the Premier League, and I think he'll thrive.
Yeah, and being that it's Bayern Munich as well, Colin, I think they dominate. I mean, it's ridiculous how one club dominates the league so much. Not even in Spain or Italy or even in the UK, in England. Even in Scotland, Rangers are pushing. Bayern Munich being the best, are a giant in Germany. Borussia Dortmund coming second. I don't know who else. Red Bull maybe, or whatever other club, but they all play second fiddle to them. So if you're going to go there, like Harry Kane, you're going to win a trophy. That's guaranteed. You're going to be playing in the Champions League, and you're going to be dominating possession. But also, remember, the German league is full of transitional teams. So that means that would suit Rashford's game, I believe. It's a great move for him. I never considered this before. Obviously, his eyes are on Barcelona, but I don't know how sort of feasible that is, because you know what they're like with the way they do their deals. So Bayern Munich is a good fit for him. And they got an English manager. I say English manager because Company spent so long at Man City. He's English through and through. I've seen the footage of him when he was managing Burnley and just doing a proper Sam Allardyce, dragging up a player, shouting at the guy. He's big, he's tough, he knows the game, he knows the English game inside out. So he would have good insight into what Rashford can do for him. And I think it would appease the fans as well, because I think even though we are, as a Man United agenda, Man United fans, are disappointed with Rashford, the outside world, believe it or not, do rate him. They think he's something special. You know, all you have to do, if you're a kid growing up in Germany and you're watching YouTube videos, you can get. I could produce a clip, a 2-minute clip of Rashford doing little tricks, scoring that nutmeg against Partey and that goal against Arsenal, or chopping Terence Trent Derby, or Trent Alexander in half, coming on the pitch and scoring a goal. You can put out some really nice highlights and think, wow, we're getting a good player here. It's just the attitude. Once again, we talked about Sancho, we talked about Rashford. Is there an attitude problem with Rashford? I'm not so sure. I've heard rumours, I don't really have great sources, but I've heard rumours and from legit settings that Rashford's quite a good, humble person. It's just that the media maybe have influenced the way we think about him or we see about him. Because I get annoyed when I see him bling bling and going out and raving and doing everything, especially when he's supposed to be doing a job or not performing for Man United. When I see things like that annoys me. So he needs some sort of public relations turnaround. And I think if he's away from the English media in Germany, where they would leave him alone because he's playing for Bayern Munich, I think he'd be protected there. Maybe his profile would change. He'd become this great. Look at, like Colin was saying, English players going over there looking good. Sancho was one that looked good at Dortmund. He looked world class. So I think this is a good move. He should really consider going to Bayern Munich. English company's there. He's proper English. You've got the guy from Crystal Palace who's there as well and playing really well, looking $1 million. And obviously Harry Kane as well. So I think he should really consider that. Rashford, respect you. Thanks for everything you've done for us, but don't turn down this opportunity. You wanted a big club. There's no bigger, really, than Bayern Munich. Take it.
There you go. Let me just get a couple of these in. So Rebel is saying 25 goals in his first season. Cole, not a chance in hell unless he's with their B team. Patrick Pillow. In company's system, he would do well. He wouldn't have to do any tracking back.
Stop right there. Can I just say they played 4 up front the other day. Basically, this is in the World Club Championships. They're playing a 4, which is really attacking. So company knows he's going to dominate in the league.
Well, he knows what he's looking for. Said, look, just find a place for a minute. Links red. Kane just can't stop scoring at Bayern. Best move he made. After leaving Spurs, he won a league title, which is something Spurs wouldn't do. Rebel is saying, Yabba, hold on, let me get this message up. Yabba, you're taking a lot of poetic license calling Vinny K an English manager. He said he's got, and I'm Titanium just replying, he has a man captain.
There you go.
There's 10 of us. Oh, I thought there was more than that in here. But if you are watching us, please give us the like on YouTube, and if you are watching us on the X, just pop over and give us a like or leave a comment. Chat Sport, how you doing, big man? I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're doing well. Rios, central midfield. We obviously know it's going to be a problem, or we're acknowledging that it may be a problem. It's another central midfielder that we've been linked with. I'm gonna hold up my hands and say the only thing I know about him is that we can get him for about 25 mil. Can anybody, somebody in the chat, any of you guys, fill me in what you know about Rios or what you've heard about Rios?
Colin, where's he from? Rios, who is this guy?
He's Colombian. Plays for, is it?
What is he playing for?
Corinthians, I think he plays for. This is a player I would like us to get. Obviously, I know we're being linked with people like Louise and all these kind of players, but this is a lad that I would love to get because, I'm not going to say, I know everything about him because I don't. Not many people do. He's cheap, and I've gone through and tried to watch as much as I can about him, and he's something I think we need because in the midfield he is a bully. He is not scared. He is a bully. Yes, like Patrick Pillar says, he has got a bit of a spiky attitude, but I think sometimes you need that. He is playing in the Club World Cup as well. He's got quite a lethal shot on him as well when he gets given the chance. But he's somebody. I wouldn't say he's a holding midfielder. I say he's more box to box. That's what he seems to be like. You know, he will go up and attack. He will also drop back and defend. I've seen him put last-ditch tackles in against, Argentinian players and stand up and get in the face, because we all know what Argentinian players are like. They're very feisty. He doesn't back down. He's straight up into the face like, what you actually going to do? Get past me if you can, because I'm going to shut you down every single time. I think this is a lad that we seriously need to go look at. Seriously, I think he's definitely going to improve the midfield.
Colombians. Have we ever had a Colombian play for Man United before? I'm not even sure. Is that good? Guys in the comments, have we ever had a Colombian play for Manchester United Football Club? I know we've had an Ecuadorian, Valencia.
We've now got a Paraguayan.
Yeah, Paraguayan just arrived, Diego Leon. We've had Brazilians like Cleverson, and we've had Argentines, many of them. But have we ever had a Colombian play for Man United Football Club? What's the reputation of Colombian football? I'll just say this. I remember Hugo Rodallega. He's playing for Wigan, I think. He's 40 years old, and the other day he got injured in a game, and it was a game to win the title. And he stayed on the pitch with like proper hammy, and he ended up scoring the winner with
Really?
The box. Yeah, 40 years old. He's still got his braids and all that. But yeah, Colombian football, obviously, there's a reputation with. I've been watching a bit too much Narcos, actually. I don't want to go down that road, but you know what I mean? We saw what happened in the 94 World Cup. They lost to Cameroon, and the defender made a mistake, and he came back and was unalived. It's really unfortunate, So really passionate country. Some great players in the past. Rincon, Asprilla, and my favourite of all time, Carlos Valderrama. What a player he was. But yeah, maybe I know nothing about him, Colin, but thanks for the insight. I'm going to go and have a look at Rios now and see what he's saying. But yeah, I didn't hear this news, didn't know anything about it. But bring it on. Oh, Falco. Yeah, we had Falco. Yeah. Falco. Well done, guys. Remember, not the Brazilian Falco, it's the Colombian Falco. Nice one.
Right.
Sorry, Mr. P.
Yeah.
Mr. P. Sorry to stop you. I wanted to finish off with this. I was, obviously, you know me, I do my research to contribute to the show. I've got a little story here. Man United have approached Inter Milan about a deal to sign Italy midfielder David Fratesi. Inter Milan, David Fratesi. Do you know him, guys? Apparently, we're in for him. This is from Court Offside. And I've caught you guys offside as well because you didn't know anything about this deal. I feel like I've got some exclusive here. David Fratesi. Anyone want to say yay or nay to that?
I've never even heard of him. Did he play in the World Club? Did he play in the World Club? Because they didn't do too well the last game they played. Did he play in that one?
He's been playing for Inter. He's in and around the first team all season, last season.
I say it all the time, man. Why we go into the Italian league for players? We talk about these links. It does worry me that they just won't have the physicality. It does worry. Look, maybe I'll be wrong. Have a
look at Sassiguna. Sassiguna knows his stuff, and he's saying here, David Fratesi, Azzurri, and yes, good player. His sister's hot and was dating Weston McKennie, the USA midfielder. There you go.
He's a good player, and his sister's hot. Fair enough. Thank you, Sassiguna. Thank you. Yeah, see, Link's Red saying he hasn't heard of him either. He said he's normally a sub. Okay.
Yeah, it is. I don't know how I feel about this one. This is 35 million euros. Is his price tag. He spent a lot of time out on loan. as well. He's been on loan. Where has he been? To Ascoli, Sassuolo,
Dead
Empoli,
teams.
Sassuolo, Monza, Sassuolo, and
Oh,
then he moved
Jesus.
and
No,
Inter.
we
He got
don't
loaned
want
back
that.
out to Sassuolo, and now he's
No,
at
we
Inter.
don't want that. We don't want that. Look at the teams. He keeps going back to bloody Sassuolo. Or
And
wherever
he's
he is.
5'8" as well.
How much?
He's 5'8" and he's 35 million euros.
Forget it. There's absolutely no chance. I know, Yabba, you just wanted to put something out there, but we're not getting a midget. Yeah, forget that, mate. No, absolutely no chance. No chance. He's the same size as Fred.
Oh, he'd be Solo's favourite player.
No, I think we can forget about for Tazy. Yeah, let's forget about Tazy. Let's see if there's anything else bouncing around. Hold on.
I've got more if you want.
Yeah, come on, give us another one.
All right, I heard it through the grapevine. A few things here. I've got a picture as well. I should have uploaded it, but it's really quite funny. Quick story here: that Kobe Mainu, we know our lovely great little player Kobe Mainu, was spotted training in Manchester with two other former Man United players. Do you want to guess who?
Mason.
Former Man United players.
Yeah.
One of them was Mason Greenwood.
Yep, correct.
Because I've seen this. I can't remember who the other one was though.
I mentioned him on yesterday's show. And he's got a name just like a Hollywood actor.
Oh, James Garner.
Yeah, James Garner and May. So imagine this: you turn up at a park and you see Kobe Mainu with Mason Greenwood and James Garner, all mates presumably, and doing drills.
Okay. You know what?
Being fit for the pre-season. Nice.
You know what? Fair play to this. But they ain't got no gal. They're not married. They ain't got no kid.
Yeah, well, Mason Greenwood has.
Actually, no. That's a good point. That's a good point. All right. I was more thinking about Kobe, to be fair. I like that. I like seeing it. Let's just hope that all of this work he's doing, it pays off. Because he still hasn't signed the contract yet.
Yeah.
Let's hope that he hits the ground running and gives Amarin a few headaches, because nobody can't work out where he's going to play, what position he's going to play. So yeah, I hope that he does. I hope that he does hit the ground running.
Can I just? I always get this from Iron Titanium. He's always talking about quizzes and everything else. I'm the quiz master. People are too scared to come and face me on the show, but I will be back. I got a question for you then, Iron Titanium, just related to what we've been talking about today. This goes out to Iron Titanium. No clues for him. I've just been talking about David Fratesi, Inter Milan midfielder, coming to Man United. There's a possibility of that happening. I want you to tell me, Iron Titanium, who was the last Manchester United midfielder who left Man United to go to Inter Milan? I'd like to hear your answer on that, please. Well, everyone's paused.
What's his name? Yeah, I know. I think I know.
I'm talking about centre midfielder, as Fratesi is. Who was the last centre midfielder from Man United who went from United straight to Inter? All right, it's over.
But it's not Mkhitaryan, is it?
No, I wouldn't call him a centre midfielder. Do you know that, Colin?
No.
Yeah, they got it in the comments. Bart and Stephanie Griffiths.
I was only a little
Bloody hell. Wow. Okay.
And a quick one, Mr. B. I'm just going to drop another thing. A few quotes here. Remember Benny McCarthy? Obviously, he had He has lots to say, and I trust his word because he's been around Man United. He was a coach, wasn't he? Striking coach. He said this about Cody Gakpo, Liverpool striker. He said Gakpo was one that we wanted the most and missed out on. This is talking about Man United. I was told the scouting department had watched him numerous times, and they said the stats weren't right. The naked eye gives you so much more. The system won, so he joined Liverpool and won the league. So he's having a dig at our scouting department, saying that Gakpo wasn't quite right. There was a question mark about him. He ended up going to Liverpool, and he's been quite a player since he's been there. And this one you'll love. This is Benny McCarthy, Mr. B, talking about Scotland comedy. He says this: It was one of the biggest mistakes in football to let him leave. He was born to play for United, but you like this bit. Maybe he wasn't the most technical, but he had the fight. And I think it's what they will get back with Mateus Cunha. So talking about getting that fight, he said, okay, we've lost Scott McTominay. It was the biggest mistake in football. But with Cunha, we're going to get that sort of fight back with a player who's got that sort of drive and fight about him. There you go. 2 quotes there from the great Benny McCarthy.
Okay, fair enough. Cole, have you got any more quotes?
Have I got any more quotes? No, I ain't got no quotes. I do have 2 questions to ask you, gentlemen, though, because obviously I've not been here for the last couple of days.
Is this fingers on buzzer?
No. I just want to get your opinions on things. So, obviously, looking at reports today, we're all waiting for one deal to happen, which is obviously the Emblemo deal. I've been saying for a long time now, we're going to be paying 70 million.
Yeah.
Have you seen what Brentford have actually said recently about they are evaluating Emblemo's price at this moment in time from the Tottenham Hotspur bid, which don't know where it's come from. Yeah, it's never arrived, but the valuation was 70 million pounds. So we are going to be paying 70 million pounds. Is he a 70 million pound player?
Cole, what I would say to that is it's not my money. It's not my money. I want him at the club now. You know, there's no point in going all that way. Yeah, we've had our pants pulled down again, and it's probably going to happen again. But this is what we do in it. We act like, you know, we got big balls, and then when you find out there's acorns down there. So let's not get it twisted. We're no good at negotiations, whether it's buying or selling. Get it done. You know, yeah, you didn't want to pay the 70 million. I get it. He's not a 70 million pound player. I get that as well. But you know what? Just get it done now. They've gone too far not to get pay the extra 5 million. Yeah, I know we're going to get stung again. But we need him in the team. We need him in the team. The extra 2.5 million, 5 million that we're going to pay isn't going to stop him from scoring the goals that he's going to score for us.
So the question was, is he a 70 million pound player? That's 5 million more than what we were willing to pay for him. And no one was questioned whether he was a 65 million pound player. We were thinking, okay, get him in. He scored 15 goals, whatever. Done a good job in the Premier League since he's been there, quick, fast, in the prime of his career. No one questioned that. Now it's gone up to 70. Does that sort of trigger some sort of alarm bells? 70 million, that means, he's not worth it now. I don't know. Look, let's put it this way. I think Brentford and football clubs are smart. They've teased us. Yeah, they said, yeah, Mbeumo, you can have him. We're talking about 65 million pounds. And then when they realise there's interest, legit interest, they've just started to play the arse with us, to be honest, as Colin was saying there. And then they want a bit more money. Like Mr. B said, it's not our money. We're a big club. We are expected to pay a big price. We've done it so many times recently with complaints with players that really let us down, like the Sancho, as we're talking about, like Anthony, and like Rasmus Højlund. But I think this is a guy, unlike those guys, Anthony, Sancho, and Rasmus Højlund, this is a guy we see week in, week out at Brentford who does deliver the goods, to be fair. And 70 million pounds, I don't think we're getting our pants pulled down too much. It's just a bit of a, you get that glove slap in the face, one of them, rather than a pull down the pants.
I challenge you to a duel. Yeah.
Good question, Colin. Good question.
The only other one I've got is for you. Obviously, recently as well, we've been linked with Watkins recently. We all agree he would be a good signing for Manchester United. Aston Villa have set the price mark of £60 million for Watkins. Is it time to just disregard Watkins and go somewhere else?
Yes, there's no way on God's green earth we're spending 60 million on Ollie Watkins. He's 30 or will be 30 come during the season. I have no interest in, and I'm sure the club have no interest in spending 60 million. Yeah, they've gone high. That's what clubs do. But if they get him, as I said yesterday, if they get him for 30, do the deal. If you're looking at anything over 30, then no, I wouldn't even entertain it.
Yeah, I mean, look, it sounds simple, and I'd say elementary, Watkins, but I think the deal is something that we've had to consider. Very good player. It's like the 30-year-old thing is scaring a lot of people off. I've seen that mentioned a lot lately. But this is a guy who could do the business. I saw there's a report in the Athletic. They're really good outlet. They really write well. They've got good writers on there. They were saying that he'd be a good fit for us. If we were talking about wanting Victor, the Swedish guy, I think Watkins is a similar player to him. A hard runner, strong runner, runs the channels. Someone that would have suited us. And I think Watkins also does a similar job like that. So forget the 30-year-old thing. We're in the 2025. This ain't like 1970s where players at 30 years old were sort of owning the pub or buying the pub near the stadium and retiring very soon. These players can go on for a number of years, I like Watkins. The only issue I would say about him is the price tag. I think if we get a good deal, no one would be complaining, because even though he's an Arsenal fan, I think he would come to us and really step us up with the other two signings, hopefully in Bremo and obviously with Cunha. That would be really frightening for any defence in the league. Imagine that, dealing with the pace of Bremo, trickery, kind of left foot, that knuckleball shot, dealing with Mbeumo like him, who's got all those attributes, then dealing with someone like Cunha who can pick up the ball, drive at you, give it a little Brazilian flair, strength as well. Finishes dinner really clean and tidy. And then to add to that, you put Ollie Watkins, elementary. It makes sense.
You see, I've only just seen this. And again, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. So this has come from Disco Mirror. And I'm presuming it's come from the club somewhere. And this is a quote from it. Manchester United are stepping up their interest in Ollie Watkins. Aston Villa wants 60 million for him, but United are unwilling to spend that much on somebody with a lack of resale value. So we're looking at resale value.
And that sums it up. That sums it up. We're not ready to have the icing on the cake. If he was the one who was finishing the team off in regards to we had everything else, then fine. But no, I don't see us pushing the boat out for that one. I honestly don't.
Yeah, this sell-on value thing, I think it's fair enough. It's fair enough, but because we're struggling, Colin, with so many strikers out there, and we looked through an abundance of strikers, and some who do tick the boxes who could be have sell-on values, like Etike and the Roy Delap's son and all these guys. It gets to the point where we say, well, let's just get someone like we did with Robin Van Persie, who came in with little sell-on value, but he was hot, And I think this is the equivalent of that. Sometimes you just have to say, to close that gap, let's just sacrifice, get this guy in, forget about the sell-on value, let him just play out his time until he gets old at Man United. And it's not a
That's
case
the problem. Get old. He's already old in football terms. Get older at Man United.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear that.
Look, it'll work out. I'm sure, and it probably won't. And Andrew will be upset, and I'll be upset, and you'll be upset, and the only one walking around in his smile on his face is going to be Solo, because we know if certain things happen, Red Bull's going to lose his mind. So, look, we have to see. We have to wait and see, guys. We're on the road to 4K. If you are new to the channel, look, just hit that subscribe button, and the notification bell. And if you are watching on X, just pop over. In your free time, it takes 2 minutes to press both buttons. Boom, boom. Give us a like, give us a subscribe.
You know what? With all these people watching from X, I like to have like one-to-one conversations and things. So if you're watching from X, come over, say hello, give us a shout out, and let's talk face to face. We like involvement, participation on this channel. So rather than watching from X where we can't see you, you can see us. It's like there's one-sided mirrors. When you're in your car, you can see out, but they can't see in. I feel like that right now with my tinted mirrors, windows. Sorry. So if you're on Twitter or X, come on over and say hello. We don't buy.
There you go. Cole, what did you have to say before we go? Oh, and before I go, because I know I'm going to forget. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. as usual, but we've got a special guest. We've got the only, well, say the one and only. He's going to moan if I say that. So look, we got Jay Motti on tomorrow. So if you've got any questions for him, Man United related, keep him clean, keep him polite, but getting ready for tomorrow.
You know what? I have to say, big up to Jay Motti. He's been such a good supporter of this channel, and we really respect everything he's done for us. He doesn't need to; he does it voluntary because he likes Errol. And who doesn't? I mean, guys, if you don't know Errol Solo, he's one of the nicest guys that you ever meet. Hasn't got a bad bone in his body, unlike myself and Mr. B and Colin. Yeah. And Rebel, don't forget Rebel. But what great. Solo's really good at networking, and I'm sure tomorrow you'll hear the story from Jay about how Solo got in touch with him, because he says that all the time when he comes on the show. But big up to Jay Motti, and make sure you tune in tomorrow. It's Jay Motti from Stretford Paddock.
Yeah. The last thing I want to say is I just want to plug something that we are doing here on the Man United agenda. Obviously, we will be giving out a shirt, a Manchester United shirt, for one of you lucky viewers if we hit the magic number before the start of the season. But we're also going to be running a members only giveaway, so please do get your memberships in. Now, I do need to be careful when I do this, because Mr. B is adamant he's going to come and get this. But if you do become a member, you will have, and bear in mind it is a green screen behind me, you'll have a chance of winning this signed...
Hold on. Let's do this properly. There we go.
This signed Brian Robson jersey. As you can see
Captain
there.
Marvel. You know what? With the release of the new Superman movie coming out on the 11th of July, this would be a perfect addition for any superhero, to be wearing. Robbo, Captain Marvel.
Have I got this wrong? Sorry. I'll let you finish because I'm really confused by what Solo's just put in there. But yeah,
you'll have a chance of winning that, and to make sure, obviously, you are fully aware as well, it does come with a certificate of authenticity. So that piece of writing there, his little squiggle, is 100% authentic and his. So make sure to get your memberships in to be in a chance of winning that. The higher the membership tier, the more entries you will get.
And if I do win, by the way, it's not a fix. It will be deeply appreciated. Solo, you said he's on Friday. Are we talking about Jay?
Yeah, he's changed it to Friday. Yeah. So,
when the fuck was that? When was that?
I think you put it in group chat about...
So 40 minutes ago, we were actually on live.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have known that. But yeah, let's rewind and come again, selector. Jay will not be on tomorrow. Jay will be on Friday. And that's straight from his best mate, Solo.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, look, I got that completely wrong. I did make show plans for Friday, but look, those can change. It's no problem. Needs must. So yeah, look, obviously I got it wrong. I wasn't in the loop. I don't go on my phone. Obviously, trying to be professional, not going on my mobile phone when we're on the show, guys. But yeah, I missed that one. So yeah, look, he's back he's on Friday. It will be 9 o'clock on Friday. Oh my god. And Friday is my drinking night as well. Oh boy, it could be carnage. It could be carnage. So look, guys, we will be back tomorrow. All of you wonderful people in the chat, we appreciate the love, man. The few new people who have jumped in, thank you. Let's hope you subscribe. If you haven't, Jay will be on Friday, so maybe you'll subscribe then when we've got somebody a little more famous on. But from me, it's goodbye.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's adios again. Amigos from me as well. So big up, guys, and see you tomorrow.
Oh shit!